In 1997, a commercial fisherman working off the coast of British Columbia watched a full-grown orca surface about 10 meters from his boat, make eye contact with him, and then slowly swim away. The orca was larger than his vessel. It could have capsized the boat without much effort. It didn't, which raises an obvious question that marine biologists have been trying to answer for decades. Why don't orcas, the most powerful predators in the ocean, ever attack humans in the wild? Hi, I'm Mara, and this is Microplanet. The short answer is we don't know for certain, but the longer answer is more interesting, and it has less to do with orcas being gentle and more to do with how orcas think. The first reason is that orcas are extraordinarily specialized eaters. Every orca population in the wild has a highly specific diet that it's learned from its family group and almost never deviates from. The orcas off the Pacific Northwest coast of North America eat almost exclusively Chinook salmon. The orcas near Antarctica target specific seal species. Norwegian orcas herd herring. The diet isn't just a preference, it's a culturally transmitted behavior, passed from mothers to calves over years of learning, specific enough that different orca populations hunting in the same waters will ignore each other's prey entirely. Humans don't appear anywhere in that learned prey list, and because orcas are neophobic, cautious of unfamiliar things, an animal that doesn't match any known prey profile doesn't trigger a hunting response. It triggers curiosity, sometimes investigation, but not attack. The second reason is that orcas are sophisticated enough to distinguish between contexts. This is the part that researchers find hardest to fully explain. Orcas in captivity have attacked and killed trainers on multiple occasions. Orcas in the wild, exposed to centuries of human hunting and harassment, have never been documented killing a human. The difference isn't the presence of humans, it's the context in which orcas encounter them. In the ocean, humans appear in a context that doesn't match anything in the orca's prey behavior template. We don't move like prey, we don't sound like prey, we don't smell like prey. And orcas, which have the second largest brains relative to body size of any animal on the planet, appear to have the cognitive capacity to categorize humans as something other than food, and to maintain that categorization even in the presence of extreme hunger or provocation. There's also a third factor that researchers have proposed, and it's the most speculative but the most interesting. Orcas may have made a deliberate cultural decision to leave humans alone. This sounds far-fetched, but the evidence is indirect and worth taking seriously. Orcas have demonstrated cultural transmission of behaviors across generations. Specific hunting techniques, vocalizations, even greeting rituals are passed from older animals to younger ones within family groups. If a cultural norm of not attacking humans exists in wild orca populations, it would spread and persist in exactly the same way hunting techniques do. There are accounts from indigenous communities along the Pacific Northwest coast describing centuries of peaceful coexistence with orcas, and some researchers believe the avoidance is too consistent across too many separate populations to be purely coincidental. It may not be instinct, it may be something closer to a rule. The complication is that this doesn't mean orcas are incapable of aggression toward humans. Beginning in 2020, orcas off the coasts of Spain and Portugal began a bizarre and well-documented behavior, approaching sailboats and ramming their rudders repeatedly, sometimes for hours, occasionally disabling vessels entirely. No one has been injured, and researchers still debate whether this is play behavior, curiosity, or something else. But it demonstrated clearly that wild orcas are capable of sustained, targeted interaction with human vessels. They just don't escalate it into an attack on the humans themselves. Which brings us back to that fisherman off British Columbia. The orca that surfaced beside his boat and made eye contact wasn't being gentle in any simple sense. It was a 6-ton apex predator making a choice, or more accurately, following a behavioral pattern so deeply ingrained across its family group and culture that the choice, if it ever was one, was made long before that particular orca was born. We tend to think of predators as animals that attack anything they can. Orcas are a reminder that the most sophisticated predators on the planet are capable of something more nuanced than that. They can look at a human in the water and decide based on culture, cognition, and category that this is simply not what they do.